So if you're watching this video, you probably came here because you need help. Let's be real. I need help too. Everyone needs help at some point. And today's help is going to be on getting your shit together, because let's just be real for a second. I said real too many times. Let's just be real for a second. Let's just be real for a second. Who actually has their life together? It's not me. So anyway, I thought I'd come on here today and share some tips on how to get your shit together, because I have really been trying, and some of these things worked for me and they might work for you guys. So let's start with number one. Tip number one. This is the executive most. This is my life. And if you guys aren't a fan of taking notes, if you aren't a fan of scheduling and planning, this is your number one problem. The number one tip I can give to you is get a planner. If you want it like this, if you want it digital, if you want it, write it on your hand, get a tattoo of your daily schedule on your hand, do it. But you need a place where you can record your thoughts, you can record the things that you need to do. You need a place to have everything organized, color-coded, whatever you want. Get creative, have a journal, have a bullet journal, a dot planner, this, which is just stuff. So essentially, planners are known to increase productivity by like a fuck ton. So get yourself a planner and make sure that you make it in a way that you want to use it. So if you want to get an empty booklet with no lines, no nothing, and you draw on your own thing, then you can do that. If you think that's too much work, you can just get a ready-made planner. They sell them for like a year's worth of dates, where you can add your notes, add your contacts, whatever you want. And if you want to do it digitally, I can recommend one app for you, and that is Power Planner. This video is not sponsored by them, but I have used this app for many times, and it is literally one of the best organization apps, because it can connect to your phone, to your laptop, to your tablet, to wherever you want. It can like shoot up messages on your toilet paper if you wanted to, and you'll be organized. Tip number two. If your organization isn't about time, but it's about, you know, keeping your shit together, like your environment, your room, your office, your desk, your workspace, your college dorm, whatever it is, then tip number two is going to be pretty useful for you. Tip number two is have everything with a purpose and everything with its own place. This sounds really exhausting. I know. But I had so much crap around my room, and I didn't know why I have this much crap. I didn't need the crap that I had. I have to stop saying crap because of YouTube. But I had so many things around my room that were just cluttering my space. And I realized that you can do this test, and you can ask, have I used this thing in the past 6 months? If the answer is no, you are not going to use it in the next 6. Unless, you know, it's summer and you're asking about your winter jacket, then yeah, you probably haven't used it. But still, like, if you have not used something in the past 6 months, you can get rid of it, you can donate it, or you can just store it somewhere where you won't have it cluster your space and make everything super... The second part of this tip is really useful, which is having a place for everything. Now, this doesn't mean that everything has to be put perfectly in a place that you draw, you know, white lines around it, like kind of like they do around dead bodies after they're shot. You don't have to do that with your things, but just knowing where things go. For example, my laptop should be on my desk after I'm done using it. I could be watching videos, I could be in my bed, I could be sleeping with it, but I know that at the end of the day, it goes there. Why is this useful, you ask? Because it just is. You just have a place to put things. I don't know if you've ever ended up in a situation where you have so many things everywhere, around you, on your bed, on your desk, on your chair. I love the chair for my clothes. But I didn't know where to put all of my things, and I was just like, this isn't my fault that they're everywhere. Well, it kind of is, but it's not. There's no point of looking to blame yourself for having things all over the place if you just knew where exactly that they belong, where to put them when they're all over the place. Tip number three. This one is a little more psychological and a little less about where things go and how to clean up your life, your schedule, and all of that stuff. This one's a little bit more about you. Now, I like to set expectations for myself. I like to know in my schedule that this week I'm going to complete this. But what I used to do before is that I would set today at 8 p.m. until 10 p.m. I'll be working and I'll write 200 pages. Then from 10 p.m. to whatever the fuck, I'm gonna be doing 300 other things, and I all have to do them. It would make me super disappointed when I wouldn't finish these things on the insanely not normal set schedule that I expected myself to do them. So what I realized is that when you're planning out whatever it is that you want to do, if it's work, if it's hanging out with friends, You can't beat yourself up over the fact that you went over an hour overboard, or you spent less time doing something, and now what do? Do you wait until the next thing has to start? How do you function? You can't have everything to the minute. You can have a structure, you can have expectations, but make sure they're realistic. This is key word. I'm gonna try and put it in realistic. Keep things real. Know how much you're able to do. And this doesn't mean that you're incompetent. This doesn't mean that you're not worthy. This doesn't mean that you're a bad person if you don't finish everything, even if you thought that you could do it. Sometimes shit just happens. So make sure you stay real and that you're planning everything, but do it within your own means. Tip number 4 is probably going to be the most useful one, and if it's a little contradictory to what I said before, then I'm sorry, but you need to hear this one out. Tip number 4 is don't overdo it. And by don't overdo it, I mean don't beat yourself up over not having done everything perfectly. And also, don't sit for 4 hours and make a planner, because you've just wasted 4 hours. I mean, if you really have that many things to do, spend 4 hours on it. If you want to plan making your planner, spend 4 hours on it. But don't avoid doing things because you want everything to be color perfect and organized and things like that. Sometimes you just gotta wake up and step into action. If you have something on your to-do list, do it. If you need to write it down, take 5 minutes and write it down. But don't spend 4 hours writing it down, drawing, enjoying it when you should be doing work. Thank you very much for watching my video. If you think any of the tips I gave are going to help you, please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and maybe hit the subscribe button down below. I make videos like once a month or whenever the fuck I feel like, so there's that. But you can also follow my social media, linked down below, and see you eventually.